how can the workplace adapt and leaders, frankly, adapt to a world where people are not willing to tolerate maybe the microaggressions that they were experiencing at work, the conditions, the uh, toxic leaders, or the you know noisy environments, or the things that were not conducive to them being able to be really productive, in the office. And so there are many, many ways to slice and dice that, but there's a lot of issues, I think, to be addressed in terms of how do you accommodate for uh, those who don't fall along very uh, clear cut lines, and maybe have more complex issues, um, or frankly psychologically averse to going back to the office for reasons that are entirely their own and legitimate.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the need and action, which is encouraging for uh, companies just to get much more in tune with their employees. I don't think that's something that ever was quite, wasn't high enough on the list, right? It was always about. I think that there still was this sort of traditional sentiment of talent as a factor of production, and I think now there's an understanding that talent is in many companies, especially in our kind of knowledge economy, the most important asset you have, um, and b that you have to be in tune because of the leverage talent has with how inclusive is your workplace, how sustainable is it, how healthy is it, things like indoor air quality, like that we never really thought about as much before. And you mentioned people either that are from underrepresented or disadvantaged backgrounds, and how we can make sure that there's equity in the workplace. And even personality types play into this. Like, we talk a lot about in a remote or hybrid world where you're not with people as much. How do you get those great ideas out of your introverts that maybe will be quieter because it's a harder dynamic for them to get their ideas out in? So there's a lot of layers to this, and I think there's actually going to be a whole new sort of science of workplace inclusivity and collaboration equity. And we're hearing some of our big corporate clients actually put things like collaboration and workplace equity and inclusion literally at the top of their list
Wow.
of priorities. Now that's not easy to do, but the focus on it, I think, is really encouraging. We write a lot about it in the book.